Hey guys, it's me Sujar over here. Welcome back to another video. So I'm right now here at District 1. I'm at Bitexco, Nguyen Way, Win Way, walking streets. So today on this video, I want to talk about being a cheap Charlie in Vietnam. So if you're new to my channel, the name of my channel is called Sujo in Vietnam. I've been living over here for 7 years now. I was an English teacher before for 4 years. Then I started my online business. I'm also a full-time YouTuber. So if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, it takes less than 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, and that way you can support my work. So let's talk about being a cheap Charlie out here in Vietnam. What do you mean by cheap Charlie? You know, cheap Charlie, I mean, according to me, are expats who don't want to spend a lot of money and want to live a very affordable lifestyle, and you know, just live a very minimalistic lifestyle, and you know, not spending a lot of money. You know, like regular tourists, and you know, just living on a budget. You know, I mean, that for me is like living a cheap Charlie lifestyle. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, I like to spend money out here in Vietnam when it comes to shopping, eating food. But the reason why I like being a cheap Charlie out here in Vietnam is that I don't need to spend a lot of money. Especially I stay in the countryside, so you know, my expenses are very minimal. You know, I mean, I do rent a full home out here in the countryside. I spend around 4 million, but you know, I don't spend a lot of money on food because I do a lot of cooking at home. So yes, I mean, if I compare it being a cheap Charlie in Thailand, I think it's much better being a cheap Charlie out here in Vietnam. You know, you don't spend a lot of money. I mean, you can live a very affordable lifestyle. You know, you don't need to spend, I mean, you don't need to go to fancy restaurants. You know, like you can go to a banh mi shop over here. You can buy a banh mi as low as 15,000 Vietnam dong. That's less than $1. You know, you can eat a Vietnamese pho for I think 20,000 or 25,000 Vietnam dong. So yes, I mean, like it's not very expensive. Like, you know, you can if you're coming out here in Vietnam, if you're on a budget and if you want to live a cheap Charlie lifestyle, you know, there are a lot of hostels out here in Vietnam, especially in Saigon and also in Hanoi, where you can get very reasonable hostels, you know, and you know, they'll cost you less than you know, $8 per night. But if you're traveling somewhere else in Vietnam, like if you're traveling to other locations apart from Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, it's much cheaper. You know, like you can get very affordable hostels. So the reason why many foreigners like to visit Vietnam is that it's not very expensive. You know, you can live a very affordable lifestyle. Because back in the States, it's very expensive. Like you know, my dad, he lives back in New Jersey, and you know, like he pays around I think he pays around 3,500 US per month for his accommodation. But over here in Vietnam, you know, you can rent a studio apartment as low as you know, $200 per month. You know, it depends where you want to stay out here in Vietnam, but the whole point over here is that, you know, you can live a very affordable lifestyle, and the expenses are definitely lower compared to Thailand. Because when I was in Thailand, I found Bangkok to be very expensive, and I'm going to keep a video of that as well. So you can check that out, because the moment I came to Bangkok, I found it to be very expensive. And it's like you cannot live that kind of cheap Charlie lifestyle. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I think it's much better out here in Vietnam, because it's more affordable. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You can live a very simple lifestyle. It depends. If you want to go to fancy restaurants, by all means, you have all the options available out here in Vietnam. But I tend to avoid all these tourist locations where I try to avoid shelling out a lot of money. I live like a local. I like to go to local coffee shops over here. Maybe like have a nice Vietnamese coffee for as low as 10,000 Vietnam dong. Eat very local food, because I've been living here for 7 years, so I like to live a very local lifestyle. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes I do like to go to Starbucks. Sometimes I do like to go to McDonald's, to Burger King, and like spoil myself. But at the end of the day, like it's just like shelling out more money. So yeah, I mean, I like to live a cheap Charlie lifestyle. And of course, I like to keep a very minimalistic lifestyle out here in Vietnam. So yeah, I mean, the affordability is there if you're going to be staying out here, compared to Thailand, which is very expensive. I found it to be expensive, Bangkok. I mean, don't get me wrong, maybe Chiang Mai is cheaper, which I've heard. But when I was in Pattaya, or Pattaya, what do you call it as, I found it to be expensive as well. I mean, accommodation was a bit more reasonable compared to Bangkok, but Bangkok is like super expensive. So yeah, I mean, and it's sad to see that like a couple of expats in Thailand and Bangkok, they become homeless very fast. They're on the streets, doing drugs, and it's just like a very sorry lifestyle, and I've seen that kind of pain. I've seen that kind of pain in Thailand, which you don't find out here in Vietnam much, because it's very affordable. And of course, like in general, Vietnamese people are very helpful. Like if you're homeless out here in Vietnam, there'll be someone to help you out. I'm not sure about this in Thailand, because there are a lot of homeless people in Thailand, which I saw in Bangkok. I mean, I'm not criticizing Thailand, but I think it's much better to live a cheap Charlie lifestyle out here in Vietnam. So like if you are traveling to Southeast Asia, and if you're on a budget, and if you really want to, like if you're on a tight budget, and I think Vietnam is a better option for you. You can come to Vietnam, you can live a very simple lifestyle. I don't go to fancy places. I live a very minimalistic lifestyle. And I like to live like the locals. I mean, if you live like a local out here in Vietnam, you spend less, and of course you get to enjoy the culture. Because if you're inside the expat bubble, and if you're just hanging around the tourist locations, you're going to be running out of money very fast. And especially if you're going to be dating the wrong Vietnamese girl, she's going to treat you like a walking ATM. So yeah, I mean, you can live like a cheap Charlie lifestyle, provided you're not hooked up with any relationship or something, till the time you get your shit till the time you get your things get fixed up. So yeah, I mean, I think Vietnam would be a great hub for you if you want to live a cheap Charlie lifestyle. Okay, so I just wanted to make this video. Let me know, I mean, like, are you finding Vietnam to be affordable compared to Thailand? Are you living a cheap Charlie lifestyle out here in Vietnam? And of course, speaking of living a cheap Charlie lifestyle, you can also bargain out here a lot. Like, if you go to the local markets out here, you can negotiate the price. You can reason with the sellers. You don't need to pay a lot of money. So it depends, you know, how good your negotiation skills are and how good your bargaining skills are. And of course, you can also negotiate your accommodation and everything. So, you know, I would love to hear from you. Like, are you living a cheap Charlie lifestyle out here in Vietnam? You know, like, are there any nice backpack hostels out here in Vietnam which is less than $5? I would love to hear from you because you know, I plan to come back to Vietnam again and explore more of Vietnam and possibly live in, you know, different hostels and try to see which is the cheapest hostel out here in Vietnam, just to get some good experience and exposure. Yeah, so if you like watching this video, make sure to like this video and all the good stuff. You know, apologies if I was repeating myself over and over because I'm out here in the public. It's a bit difficult for me making YouTube videos when I'm out here in the public, and of course a lot of noise and everything, that all adds up to the misery. And if you found this video to be informational, you can always buy me a coffee. The link is down in the description below. And if you're traveling around in Southeast Asia and you want to start a successful online business, you can check out this exclusive free webinar masterclass. I'm keeping the link down in the description below. You know, I would love to hear from you. All right, you know, being a cheap Charlie is not bad. You know, I mean, like, I think there's some kind of a negative stereotype attached to this, like, you know, oh, he's a cheap Charlie or something. I mean, I love living a very minimalistic lifestyle, and I don't like to spend a lot of money, especially when I'm here in Vietnam. You know, so I like to live like the locals, and you know, of course, I love Vietnam. So with that being said, you guys have a great day. This was me, Sue Joy. Peace out.